Hey everyone, hope everyone is having an amazing time manifesting into their life what they want. You know, is some of the things that we do is we are consistent in our day-to-day life. Now, that has a duality to it, a double-edged sword, because many of us are not programmed to be successful. Doesn't mean we can't be successful, but because we are consistent through our life, our day in our life, what ends up happening is through cultural programming, right? Because they can't get you in school fast enough, you know, from a little young age and Alan Watts has always said, the worst thing that happens in school when you're little, because you're moving, you know, your whole body is just moving. And they tell you to sit down, shut up, and stop wiggling around. Well, in nature, everything wiggles. So that's the very first part of pulling you out of nature. And then there is the programming that puts you in a category, and that could be, well, this person's really smart, but this one's not so smart. I was in the not so smart group. In fact, when I graduated from high school, right, I couldn't read or write. But because I showed up, they passed me. But the influence that comes with that taught me that I would never learn to read or write. And everybody treats you different, just like the kids that were brilliant in that system get the praise. They get the A's, right? And they go to the head of the class and their college material and their, you know, most businesses are owned by C and D students, and A and B students end up working for those C and D students to do the books and do the things because that's what they excel at. And many of them, it would be a crime if they failed. I mean, if they got a D on a test, it was like the end of the world, right? Because they're A students or B students. And they don't want to be anything like those C and D students. Well, A students, this is our programming, right? A students usually end up working for a big corporation, crunching numbers or being a writer or whatever. B students usually end up working for the government because it's a safe, secure job. And C and D students go into business on their own because they don't feel smart enough. They don't feel that they can go out and get the job that the A and B students are getting because they never fit in. And they were completely treated that way the whole time they were in school. Now me, when I went to school, there was A, B, C, D, and an E, and an F. Well, I was a red F student because I couldn't do anything. I'm dyslexic, so reading and writing was a real struggle for me. Now, that doesn't mean that they didn't try. They used to let me do artwork and things, and they would try anything to get me engaged. But I couldn't get engaged because being dyslexic, and I've talked about this in other videos, the whole time that I was growing up, my art was what I got praised for. But I was told I could never do it because there's no money in it. Well, I ended up being a non-reading, non-writing sign painter that could work in any language. Because I'm great with spatial relationships on signs, and the lettering is foreground, middle ground, background. And it took me all over the world, even though I couldn't read or write. So there is so much there, and through my breath work, I've been able to release a lot of the trauma that was in school for me. And it might not be anywhere near the trauma that you experienced in your life. That's not why I'm saying this, and I don't want you to feel bad for me, okay? But I ended up owning sign shops. And when there was an issue between the manager, my wife, okay? She left. Well, when she left, I couldn't do the books, I couldn't do anything. So I closed the company, and I bought a van, and I drove around the country. And I taught myself to read and write, and I'm not saying I'm great at it now, but I taught myself to read and write, and I wrote my first book. And my first book is called Prisoners of Our Own Beliefs, because I grew up believing that I could not read or write. And probably somewhere in your life there's something that you were taught about yourself that is not true. And stepping through that, the fear of the unknown, that's where all the magic is. I hid the fact that I couldn't read or write for the whole 19 years I had a sign shop. And like I said, I did stuff all over the world, hand carved, gold leaf, sculpting, you name it, I did it. Airbrush. I even taught sign painting. People came from Newfoundland and all over the place to learn from me. But the key ingredient was my wife at that time, because she could do all that stuff. So think about that would be a huge limitation for people. But my artwork was such a passion for me that I found a way through it. And people loved it. I'll post a picture of a project that I just finished. And it's 6 feet tall, 8 inches wide. It's about 14 inches thick. It's a 3-dimensionally hand-carved octopus. And it's on telephone poles. I mounted it on each side on telephone poles. And then put carpet caps on and rope around so it looked like the ocean, right? And this is for a renewal center called Limina. And the reason that I thought an octopus would be great is because nothing renews itself or transforms itself faster or in a more incredible way than an octopus. They don't have to land on something to change to look like it. They can actually be on something and they look like what they're on, and then they can look over at something else and transfer themselves while sitting here, transfer themselves to look like that over there. So if it was a rock or some type of plant life, they would transform to that color. I mean, they can get bumps on their skin. They can be completely smooth and flat. I mean, they're absolutely amazing. So I've always had a fascination about octopuses. And I haven't done signs in years. And this one came up and it intrigued me. So I did it through one of my friend's companies. So I was the designer, the fabricator, and I installed it. The sign weighed about 500 to 600 pounds. It's not the biggest sign I've ever done, but it's one of the most creative, I believe, that I've done. So as we go through life and we hit these limitations, right? Most people who cannot read or write, it kind of stops them from from moving forward into something like I never took a job where there was a cash register, because things jump around. I can't help it. We've talked about this in the past videos. If you hold one finger up and you blink your eyes, that finger moves back and forth like that. Well, that's what was happening. So the other thing that my wife at that time was doing was making sure I had all the letters in the right place. Because I could put a, I don't know, let's just say it was welcome, right? So I call it hand scratching, and grease pencil, and you just kind of put it up there so you have an idea where it's going to fit on the sign. And when I was painting it, sometimes I would go over a letter because it would be wider, right? And I'd miss like maybe the C, and I'd go right to an O, and there'd be no C in it. So she was there to make sure that that didn't happen for me. And it happened a couple times. It never happened on a hand carved sign, though. Thank God for that. Or a sandblasted sign, because those are pretty permanent. So what is it in your life? And write it in the description, and maybe we can do a video on it. But stepping through that into the unknown. And I mean, me of all people writing a book. I mean, and I'm actually working on another one right now. And I haven't had a lot of time to work on it, but that's neither here nor there. I am working on it, and it's on medicinal herbs. So energy is what really, that's what I'm connected to, all right? So if none of you have ever made an energy ball or held your own energy, and I'm sure many of you out there have done Reiki, so you know this, but if you haven't, just put your hands together and rub them, and they get really hot. You want them to get hot. And some people, the channels are not open for this. It takes them a while. So you just rub. You can smack your hands together, okay? And you'll get a ball, and you'll feel it push back, right? And if you want a little shot of your energy, this is you, it's not me, it's not anybody else, it's your energy, it's being channeled through you, out into your hands, okay? And you take a deep breath through your nose, you tip your head back, and you put that energy ball over your heart, and you get a little jolt. And your heart is excited because it's got a beautiful shot of the energy that came from you. You created it outside and you gave it back. So you're giving yourself a gift. Give yourself the gift of knowing there's something you can't do, or you've been taught that you can't do it through cultural programming, which is why they're trying to put kids in school earlier and earlier. And take that and step into the unknown and unravel that gift. There isn't hardly anything that you can't do. You're an infinite being in an infinite universe with infinite potential, in a world of abundance. And the frequency out here in your aura that's vibrating and telling you can't do it, somebody put that there. And then you accepted it as a fact. And it's not a fact. And you can, through breath and release, through the exhale, you can change that vibration in that frequency to the one where you are doing what you want to do. So I struggled with this my whole life. Until I started the sign shop. Because my passion to create was greater than my fear of failure. My passion to create was greater than my fear of failure. That is extremely important, to really memorize that. And when you find something you're really passionate about, and people go, well, you'll never do that, because I had plenty of it, right? You're going to be a sign painter? Oh yeah. You're going to be an artist? Oh my God. And I did stuff all over the world. And people were, especially my dad, was like astonished. He'd come in and I'd be working on 20, 30 projects at a time. And he just couldn't believe it. Because that's the way he was raised. And he had these my father was a genius. And he knew about energy like nobody's business. So, I love my dad. He just, through his training, did not get me. And that's okay. He still loved me. He just didn't get me, who I am as a person. But he started to understand when I broke through those chains of limitation, got some brushes, and started painting signs. And I did murals. I mean, I've done so many, just thousands of projects. Like I said, it took me all over the world. And as I was going around the world, I still couldn't read or write. Does that make me a hero? No, just makes me a guy that figured out a way to accomplish something that I was told would never happen from the time I was this big. That's what passion does. I would go to school and sit there in my own stupidity every day. And I could go home and tear a motorcycle or a car apart and put it back together. I could draw just about anything. So, whatever it is that you're passionate about, if you don't think that you can do it, do it. The fear of breath, the fear of fasting, and the fear of herbs, and we are so programmed into synthetic meds that we'll walk by the natural things and dismiss them. Okay? But your breath, and I've talked about this in just about every video, you have one side of your body that's manual, that's the lymphatic system. You have the other side that is electric, and that is the heart, the nervous system. And if you have a problem with your nervous system, you can rebuild it with your breath, because the breath gave you life. The first one is in. It turns on your electrical system, and boom, your heart starts, and your lungs start, and you have life. Your last one is out, and that's when the energy that's in you, which has been measured by science, goes back to source, and the body stays here. Our whole energetic part of our body is the kidneys from the earth, and the adrenals, which sit on top of the kidneys, about the size of your thumb. This would be the size of your kidney here, without your thumb. That's about the size of your kidney. And then you put your thumb on top, and that's your adrenal. So, earth, it's weird too, it's even on top. So, earth, quantum. And when one of these gets off, because they're actually on top of each other, they affect each other. So if you're low on energy, both of these are affected, because the quantum part can't get out into the body, and the kidneys aren't filtering properly, and the liver is not filtering properly. And these are deficiencies. Like I said, I don't believe in disease, I believe in dis-ease in the body. And they're taking more and more stuff out of the food, so we have less for our body to run on, to maintain its health, right? So if we're eating highly processed foods, we're actually shortening our life because it doesn't have everything in it that we need. So that's why things like fruits, berries, and melons, vegetables, especially in either a smoothie or a juice, is so important. But a lot of people don't want to drink it. Oh my God, the sugar. Oh my God, the this. Oh my God, the that. And you can take, well, as a matter of fact, it's in my phone, but gummies, THC gummies, blue dye, high fructose corn syrup. I can't remember the other stuff right now, but I'll post it underneath because I looked at that and I went, you're supposed to be taking this because it's good for you. And this is the other problem that I have with cannabis. And I don't have a problem with cannabis. I want to make that clear. I don't have a problem with cannabis, except this one thing. It does not cure anything. It only hides the symptoms. It works with the lymphatic system because that's where most of your pain is, where all of it is, actually, in the fascia and the lymphatic system. So, when we're taking these, okay, it's opening those up so there's less pain. It's masking the pain. But if we want to truly get rid of it, it's going to take live liquids, master cleanse, fruit juices, green juices, berry juices. You can put them together, although you're not supposed to mix fruit and greens together, I guess because they digest at a different rate. But beside the point, or you should not try not to do anything. If you consume it and it bothers you, then stop doing it. This is something else that is happening that should be addressed. If you can eat something on Monday and it affects you, and you eat it on Wednesday and it doesn't affect you, and you eat it on Friday and it does affect you, like an allergy or something like that, it's not an allergy, it's a deficiency. Okay? They know that now. It's actually a deficiency. If it bothers you every time, that's an allergy. So once you get that deficiency taken care of, and I don't care what the disease is that they're calling, if you do that, it will go away. Once the lymphatic system is opened, it can't stay there. I don't care what it is, because it's through the lymphatic system that is building it, whether it's a tumor or scar tissue or whatever it is, okay? That can all be eliminated, especially with live, life-giving liquids. We talked about glaucoma in the last one. That's acids building in the eye. You know, I'm just pointing at an eye here, and it swells, and it gets red, and it gets hot, because acids are hot. And they make things swell. The heat. So things like skullcap and eye bright, and there's a couple others. If you take those as a tea or as an herb, or in a little capsule or something, they'll get up into that circulation and they'll start to open these pathways up, and they'll go away. Now, I believe there is a point of no return, but let's say that you don't have glaucoma, you have a swelling. And it will get rid of glaucoma too, but let's say you just have a swelling there. All right, tea bag on the eye, something cold to reduce the heat. But internally, you want to help it with things like skullcap, because that's up a certain brain and nerve, and eye bright. And these things will start to open up and clean all that stuff out. If you're doing live liquids, Like the first time I did the master cleanse, I keep looking over there because I have some over there. So first time I did the master cleanse, I wore double vision glasses from the time I was 6 years old. 7 days into the cleanse, now I was not eating food. 7 days into the cleanse, my eyesight was 20/20 because it cleaned all that lymph that was in there, all the acids that were changing the pressure in my eyes went away and my eyesight came back. That was in 2000. I still don't wear glasses. And if I change my diet and it starts to bother my eyes, I just change it back to more liquids and it goes away again. That's how powerful we are. But we have to understand how our body works and how to move it and help it regenerate itself. Because if it can degenerate, dis-ease, it can regenerate health. As Dr. Morse says, you're either going down the road to Hellville, and if you are, it's time to turn around and start going up the road to Wellville. And we can do that. And it's so simple. But we've been taught everything is so complicated. I mean, they've taken a cell in a human body, in anything, because all cells, everything that's alive has a cell. They've taken that cell and have gone so deep down in that cell that they've actually, to me, have forgotten what makes it tick, which is proper hydration, nutrition, oxygen, movement, rest, grounding to the earth, and changing a story from impossible, which is what society teaches us, to infinitely possible. Because we're infinite. And the opportunity for us to change everything is infinite. So let's do a couple of breaths. Which one are we going to do? And I'll do the same thing sitting. So we're going to do belly, chest, exhale through the mouth. All right? And if you feel yourself getting lightheaded, it's probably a good idea to sit first if you've never done these. Or lay down. And we're only going to do 5. So, and it goes. Okay? So we'll start now. All right? Let's go. 5. And just let that last one out. Give your body permission to relax. Your body loves to relax. But we're not trained to relax. Okay? We give 110%, 120%. What? You're only going 120%? We need 150 from you. And by the way, Joe just left and you're going to be doing his job too, but there's no raise. Okay? These are stressors that are coming into our life and we're so used to them. We think they're normal. But that's just cultural programming. I was talking to a guy today that was trying to get a job. And I think it was Walmart. And he wanted to be in the sporting goods section. Well, the sporting goods section is also crafts, automotive, paint. I mean, it's crazy. They keep adding all these things on. But your pay stays the same. So that's stressors. And they're almost like silent killers. Because you get in there, right? And then all of a sudden you have to be in clothing and you have to be in all these different things, but you don't get paid more. You work less and you get the same pay. When I say you work less, they'll probably give you less hours because they don't want to pay benefits. This is what's going on in our world today. So through our breath, we can stay calm. And we can create anything we want to create. It's in your story. I'm doing a talk tomorrow about depression and anxiety. with Tony Wheel and Sarah. So we're going to be doing that at noontime. It's going to be here it's going to be on Zoom, I think. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. But this is all part of the same thing, you know. Anxiety, stress, depression, sadness. They're all low oxygen. And if you want to get out, increase your oxygen by changing your story. Because high oxygen in the body takes to create laughter and joy and happiness. Those are high oxygen things. People that are depressed, you have a hard time to get them to smile or laugh. They don't have the oxygen to do that. And their posture is like this. Now, I'm not going to get too much into this because I want to save it for tomorrow. But people who are excited, you know, their shoulders are back, their head's up, their big smile on their face. Everybody around us, our circle of influence, is either drawn to someone who is happy, and they are, because we all elevate to that level, or if they're depressed, they're bringing in low oxygen people who relate to that particular frequency, dimension. So it's hard for them to get out because the people over here don't want to be dragged down to their level. And these people want to drag you down to their level, and the people over here want to raise you up to theirs. That's the duality of it all. So let's do a few Qigong things here. Get the body moving. First thing we're going to do is we're going to shake. If you can do this for 2 or 3 minutes a day, your whole life will change. Okay? And all you have to do is this. It takes a lot to do this for 2 or 3 minutes. And you can shake. Okay? When the body is sick, it shakes. Why? Because it's trying to eliminate it. And when it's resting, it's calm. And try to bring your heels up, even if it's just 1/4 of an inch, and back down, because that shock going up through your spinal column, right? Strengthens the bones, builds good bone marrow. Your breath goes into the bone marrow. Through the nose, head back, smile. And just exhale and let your body relax. Feels so good just to let go. But what's going on in your head that's not letting you let go? That's stepping into the unknown to face that and release it through your breath. So, we did this one, I think, yesterday. And you don't have to have this. I'm just using it as a spacer for my hands. But you can just hold your hands like this, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to pick this foot up. This is an inhale. And we go down. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Two more. Okay, and then we're going to switch to the other side. Okay, we'll start up here. This is the inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Two more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Then back. Okay, so let's just do some twisting. And you can turn your head with it or against it. And what I'm doing behind me is tapping my back. This sends a vibration through to the kidneys. Maybe we should do the kidney one. We did that yesterday too. So we pretend that we're standing like this deep in pure still water. Okay? Whatever temperature you want it. I would prefer it cold, but some people prefer it warm. So whatever the temperature is for you. All right? So we inhale and we drop our hand down. This is the exhale. And we put our hand in the water and we sweep it across. And as we come up, we can feel the water running down our arm. So it takes a little imagination. And on the way up, this is the inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Okay, we'll switch to the other side. Inhale. This is through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, shake it out. This is something I've probably done in other videos, but we're just going to go side to side. The spine bends in 8 different directions. And this is 2 of them. The one that people forget about, so this is 2 more. Frontwards and backwards. Twisting, which we just did, right? And the other is up and down. So if you watch Dr. B, he has this thing called a ring dinger, and they stretch your spine. And the magic that comes from that is incredible. I watched this girl, it's just, what are we going to do here? So we're going to do a horse stance. Horse stance is like this, okay? And we're just going to side to side. So this girl was 38. She was in an accident, car accident when she was 17. And she'd been, I don't know what the word is, not depressed. She just felt sluggish, I guess is the word. Confused, like brain fog. And he did the ring dinger with her, which you put a towel around your neck and your hips are hooked and they stretch you. That pulls your spine out, right? And she instantly started to cry. It was the first time in the 17 years since the accident she'd been able to take a deep breath. She had sucked that in, that accident, the trauma in, and it was stuck in her body. And when he did that, it released it, and she could breathe again. What do you have stuck in your body that you'd like to get rid of? For me, I've been working on it forever. And I will continue to work on it because I plan on doing this and doing Qigong and routines of Qigong, even at 118. And I wouldn't be the oldest person to do it. This will extend your life because it's keeping the lymphatic system open. You're moving blood, you're moving lymph. You're unlocking the secrets of your own body. Stagnation is a slow death, and a painful one because it's in the lymph. And you can turn like this to get more rotation in the hip joints. Just don't push it. Just let it go naturally. It'll open up over time. All the joints will open up over time. Okay, now we're going to do a neck one. So the neck one, we've done this before too. A ball right here. And this is the inhale through the nose. And we pull our head up, our chin up the chest. And we try to extend our head to touch the ceiling. Okay, and the exhale is through the mouth, and we go out. Okay, so this one is called Sheathe the Sword. And we get in horse stance again. All right, so like this, and we're gonna pretend there's a sword in this hand and a sheath in this one, and we're sliding the sword in the sheath. And then the opposite, right? So we do this, then we unhook it, and then we take the sheath up here and bring the sword up into the sheath this way. While you're in horse stance. And you can go side to side, you can turn, you can stay straight, you can do all of the above. Okay, so this is when we do shoulders. So we hold our hands out, and we're going to have thumb positions here. Maybe I can do it this way so you can see. Okay, and we do 10 this way. So I'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to the front. Then thumbs to the front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. The direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to the front. Thumbs to the back. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 to the front. And then thumbs down. We're working different muscle groups every time we do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to the front. Okay, nice deep breath in through the nose. Hold it. Nice deep belly breath. Hold it as long as it's comfortable. And then just exhale. Let your body relax. Go back to normal breathing. This is how simple it is to help your body maintain itself. It's all about flow. The flow of your work. The flow of your blood and your lymph. Keeping the body healthy so that stem cells are created where and when you need them. Studying, and I'll be going over this more in other videos. what herbs, animals, wild animals are amazingly strong. Well, they're eating live wild plants while they're grounded to the earth and nibbling them. And very seldom will an animal that is eating something like that, very seldom will they kill it. They'll go along and eat the tops, come back 3, 4, 5 days later, eat the tops, come back 4 or 5 days later, eat the tops. Because they understand, even though they're wild animals, they understand that's their food supply. And they don't want to kill it. And it's really good stuff. We did bok choy down in Wickford, Rhode Island. And we'd watch a deer come along and just chew the tops off. And it was fascinating to watch. But we rip stuff out of the ground and we kill all kinds of things. In a food forest, that doesn't happen. In a food forest, you're picking berries and you're picking apples and whatever, right? Plant one seed, get 1,000 back. And that's what's being taken away from us. It's like seedless fruit. Seedless grapes, seedless watermelons. You eat seedless, you become seedless. Maybe not in your time, but as it goes through generations, more and more people will not be able to reproduce. So those are the things that we have to be careful of. Keep a community, okay? I consider you part of this community, just like the Qigong group. And in communities, people can come, people can go, and we're not here to create conflict. We're here to grow and learn and prosper and trust one another, because we're all one energy. So what someone does to your energy from the time you're little growing up, all that trauma that's been placed inside you that we accepted as truth, but it wasn't, it was their fear that they're projecting on us. And again, if we accept that as truth, it becomes our truth, and then we project it onto somebody else. And if they believe it, they project it onto somebody else, and it goes through generations. Those are the things you have to watch out for. So glad everybody's here, and that I hope you're learning something. If you are, put something in there, where you're from, what you do. If there's anything you can cover in these videos, please let me know. And like I said, tomorrow on Tony Wheel and Sarah's show, I'll be talking about depression and anxiety. They kind of overlap, but they are different. So I'm looking forward to that show. That's not tomorrow, by the way. It's Thursday. I probably said tomorrow 5 times, but it's Thursday. Thursday, noontime. And she usually sends me a link. So I'll post it on Facebook if you want to join us. All right? Till then, love you guys. And I'll see you tomorrow in the next video. All right? This is day 5 right here. It's going by fast. See ya.